page for our portfolio that we started building in the last session. And then I'll introduce the basics of CSS. Okay. So recording has started. All right, let's get going. So this is the outline for today. We'll understand the different parts a portfolio should contain. We'll also understand how we will use various tags, because the tags in HTML, they have different meanings. So when we use different tags at different places according to their meanings, we can say that we are using HTML semantically, and that is a good practice. Okay, and then we will try and finish the landing page, and we'll also understand and find out how we can use SVG icons from external sources. So, there are pre-built libraries out there that we can directly use on our website. So, it saves us time. Okay. And then we'll understand the basics of CSS. And at the end, we'll have question answers. And we'll also have that in the, middle of the workshop. So let's see. Let's first take a look at, how an actual request and response looks like. Okay. Okay, so if you open your browser and right click, you'll get an option to inspect. So once you click that, this new sub window will open, and inside of there, there'll be a lot of tabs that you can view. So first tab is the elements tab, and inside of there, you can view all the HTML elements inside the current page that's being displayed. So you can see right here, we have a doc tab declaration at the top, and then we have the HTML opening tag. It has a couple of attributes. The first one is dir, that stands for direction, and left to right. And then we have another one, say language, and it's English. And then we have the head and the body, and then the closing tag for HTML. The next tab we have here is console. So that is the JavaScript console. We'll get back to this JavaScript console later in the fourth session. And then we have sources tags, not necessary right now. Okay, so this is the network tab, and it will show all the network that happens in the browser on this particular tab of the browser. Okay, so this is my personal website that I'm going to open now. Okay. So you can see there are a lot of requests that are being made. Let's look at the first one. Okay, so here you can see the browser is first making request to codexit.com, and it's getting a response with a service code of 301. That means that basically the browser needs to go to another location that will be specified in the response. It's somewhere in the headers. Response headers. Okay, so it's trying to fetch codexit.com, but it's saying that it should go to this location, then it will redirect to this location. And then so this is the actual request wherein we get the main HTML page. So it's a 200. That means the server has accepted the request, and it's giving back the content. So it will give an HTML document, and following that, in the HTML document, okay, Okay. Let me just reload. Different resources. So here we can see we have an SVG resource, we have fonts. So one after another, it will fetch all these resources and then render them in the browser. Okay, so that's how the responses look. Okay, let's get going. So before we move on with the session today, does anyone from the last session or whatever you saw in the network tab? Okay, so if there are no questions, I'd like all of you to open the code sandbox you were working in during the last session. And if anybody is new here, I'll just share the link to my code sandbox so that you can fork it and continue in there. Okay. So I've shared the link in the messages. Just so what you can do is so this sandbox will open up and then you can just click fork and it will create a copy of this sandbox in your own well, dashboard. Okay. Right, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just okay, something happened. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Just blacked out for a second. Can you hear me? Just give a thumbs up or something. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this as much as I can. All right. So we were looking at the designs, and so this was the header part of our website, of our portfolio. So this is where we introduce the user to what's on the website, and then a little about me section, and then there's a contact page, and then okay. So we already worked on creating our okay, I'll just make this bigger. We already worked on creating our navigation bar and part of our header. Okay, so last time I said that we will cover using external icons in this session. So let's have a look. Okay, so the library we are going to use here is feather icons. Okay, so whatever library you're using, you just Google it and then you'll find its official website, its GitHub account where you can read about how to use it. So the way we are going to use it here is we will require this line. And so we will put it inside our HTML documents head. So what it does is it will load some code and then we will use it in our body. Okay, so let me just show you. So I'm copying this line and well, I actually already have it here. So maybe let's remove it and I pasted it. Okay. So if you read further, this library, it will require to piece of JavaScript so that it can render all the icons. So let's copy that and we will have to place it the script section at the end of the body. So Okay, so why we need to do this is the icons that we put in our web page, it will be throughout this. So if we have the script above any of the icons, the icon will not be able to render. Okay, so how we will use the icon is, let me just open this and show you. Okay, so here we have an unordered list, and then we have a list item. Let's create an anchor tag. Again, the anchor tag is for creating hyperlinks on our web page. Okay. The href will be, for example, let's say it's an Instagram link. So in here, the way we will use icons is so there is this element called the I. So it is actually for using italics, the italic style on our website, but it is also used for rendering icons. So what we will do here is we will put up an attribute called data feather, and its value will have to be well, let's search if we have the Instagram icon. Okay, so we do have the Instagram icon and its name is Instagram itself. So we will put Instagram inside of here. Okay, that's all you need to do in order to have the icon render. So that's our first icon, second one, and the third one. Okay, so let's say the second icon. Okay, Twitter and Dribble. Okay. Okay, so let's just make sure if we have the names right. Okay, so it is Twitter, and all right. Okay, so let's save it, and we can see right here that these icons are being rendered, and they are links. So let's try and so let's see what happens when we remove this script part. So you can see that the icons are now rendered. And let's try and put this script at the top inside, let's say the head element, and let's see what happens. Again, the icons are not rendered. So what this script element is doing is it will go through the whole HTML document, and um, all the instances of this I tag um, is someone trying to ask something? Just make sure you are muted if you don't want to ask anything. Okay. So it will go through the whole HTML document, and as in when it comes across the I element, which has an attribute of data feather, um, it will look at the value, and according to it, it will render the icon. So for example, if we, let's say, uh, let's write square, and it will check if there is an icon in the library existing with this name, and if there is one, then it will be rendered, or else it won't be rendered. For example, we make a typo, it won't be rendered because the icon isn't there. All right. Okay, so that's how we can use external icons in our HTML page. Any questions about this? Something you'd like me to go over? Anyone? Okay. Okay, so it's good that everybody understood how you can use external icons. Moving on, in our design, we can see that the next section is about, the person itself. So we can say that this is the main content of the web page. So for that, okay, we have another tag called main. So in here, we are going to have a couple of sections. So the first section will be about bird, and the second section will be about the services that bird provides. So let's create a section using a section tag. Let's see. So the section element represents a generic section of a document. So, a section of the main content. And okay, we have, oops, I think I closed the design. I'm sorry, just a sec. Okay, so first we have this image, and it's followed by all this information about you. So let's create an image tag, and it has the source. So it will be inside assets, images, and in there, let's have a look. Phone.png. Okay, phone.png. All right. So an alternative text of phone, and it will be followed by so I'll introduce a new tag here called a div tag. So a div tag is just, a generic tag that you can use literally anywhere on your web page, and it's just for signifying a division of content on your web page. uh, I'll give you an example later where we can use multiple divs. Okay, so let's first have the h1. Okay, so normally on a web page you use h1 tag only once, but it's okay if you use it multiple times. But I'm going to stick to using it once. So we will use the h2 tag here, and the tag. Okay, let's close this. Um, okay, so the title is a bit about me, and it's capitalized. Okay. And you can see above that there is another text. So what we can do for that is we can use another tag h3, because it's it has a lower significance than a bit. So that is why we are using h3 tag here. And let's just write who is Bert Simpson. Okay. And then we have a couple of paragraphs about you. So for that, we will use the paragraph tag itself. Um, so this is there is the neat shortcut for generating stub content for your website. So you can see here, real text lorem ipsum. So that's just a placeholder text when you're designing or when you're creating websites that you don't have content for yet. So I'm just going to use a shortcut here. So if you type lorem inside this file, um, some text will be generated by itself. And then let's create another paragraph of lorem. So there we go. So that's two information about you. And then here we can see there is a button saying learn more. So it probably is a link that that takes the user to some other page where it has more information about the person. So let's create a link, and let's say we have about me.html. We don't have it right now. It's just page, and it says learn more. Okay, so this is the section right here. It has the image element, and then we have a div. So as you can see, it has no special meaning. Uh, it's just a division of content. That's it. And then let's have a look. Okay, so this is a very big picture. Let's just make for now. Give it a height attribute of 250 pixels. That's good enough for now. Okay, so we can see that we have the phone and followed by all the information. All right, let's move on to the next section. Uh, okay, so this section is going to be about the services that Bird provides. And I don't think I have the image for that. Let's see. Do I? Okay. Just a second. Okay, I got it. Okay, so this is the services section that we are going to make right now. So let's go ahead. So here again we have heading followed by less significant heading. So we will go in the same manner. My expertise, and then we create an h2 tag. What I do for my okay, and then we again have some piece of text. So we'll use the paragraph tag and just put in lorem ipsum again. Okay. So the next element here is a link to the contact page. So we will create href contact.html saying get in contact. Okay. Okay. So now we have this grid where the page is showing 3 different services that Bird provides to his customer. So we can use the div here. Okay. So we have 3 different services. So we can divide them using divs. So let's create the first div, and in there you can see that there is an icon. So what we can do is we can use icons by the image tags too. So let me know where the icons are in our project. So inside assets, we have icons, and then we have them right here. So this is what an SVG looks like. It's similar to HTML tags, the opening tag, the closing tag, and then there is well, some definitions which the browser interprets and draws. So here we have this source attribute. Let's put this SVG icon we want to use here. So it's inside the icons directory and it's called pentool.svg. Okay. And we can give it an alt of design, let's say. Okay. Let's see if we can see the icon on the screen. Okay, it's not rendering properly. Okay, let me open this. Okay, it's taking a while. Okay, so it's right there. It's a bit weird. Okay, so that's the icon we are using, and we will use h3 tags here. Product design and UI/UX. Okay, using an ampersand. Let's use ampersand, and it's followed by some text. Let's just say Lauren for now. I don't want to type all this out. It's just, not necessary. Okay, so here I'm going to use yet another div. So this is a situation where you can use multiple divs to separate some content. So it will look very much like this. So what I will do is I'll just copy it and paste it twice. Okay, just a second. Oops. Okay. So that's gonna give me the three different services. We'll have to change the sources of the icons though. So here we have the strategy icon. Um, and it should say strategy and direction. Okay, and then we have play.svg, play, and motion graphics and animation, and again some random text. All right, so is everyone following me? Does anybody have any questions? Or does this make sense, whatever we have done till now? If it does, give a thumbs up.
That makes sense.
Thank you, Prabha. Okay. Okay, so except for the design part, this section, okay, I'm sorry, from right here, it pretty much looks like the design. Okay, so we have all the elements. Yep, okay. The services section of our web page. All right. So, yep, that was it. Is everybody following me? You are right? I hope so. Okay, so that was the main content for our web page, for our portfolio. So let's just go through it. This is the navigation bar, and then we have the header. Introduce the person, and then we have the main section, the main part of our website, and it has a couple of sections. One section is about you, and the other section is about the services. All right. So let's say you want to, customize this portfolio for yourself. So instead of your expertise, maybe you can put your projects, the personal projects you've made, or your experience. For example, you've maybe you have done an internship, maybe you've done a job. You can put any sort of thing that you want the viewer to see, the your potential recruiter that you're sending the portfolio to. Just put it on the main section. All right. Okay, let's have a look at the links again. So in the bar, first we have this link to the about section of our page, right? So normally, if you want the person to go to a different page, you have a link, some like this. So it will start with a slash. Maybe it won't. So generally, it will it will start with a slash, and then it will have the location of the HTML page that we want the user to go to. But what if we want the user to click this about link, go to the about section itself on this page itself? So what we can do here is, let's go to the section, about section. Okay, so we can give it an attribute called ID. So it's exactly what it says. It's a unique identifier for this particular element on this web page. So you can only give, let's say if I give an ID of about to this section, then I cannot use the same ID for element. IDs should be unique on a single web page. You can have the same ID on two different pages, but only unique IDs throughout a single web page. Okay. So we've given it the section, we've given the section an ID about, and similarly, we'll give this section an ID of services. Okay. Where is it? All right. It's right here. Okay. So we've given the correct hrefs. So what href stands for is hypertext reference. All right, let's reload this page and have a look if it works. So let's click the about link. So yeah, it is scrolling down to the about section of our page. So the about section starts from here and it ends at after learn more. Okay, so the about one works. Let's go to services. So the services section, is viewed. We are able to view it now. All right. So that's how links on the same page work. You give the element you want to go to an ID, just like this, and then you use this notation. So href and then hashtag about. This is what you call a selector. We will get to it, towards the end. It's a selector, this hashtag about. Okay. So that was the main part of our website. Now, so we are done with the header, we are done with the main part, and let's go to the footer of the website. So it's like the, head, body, and the foot. Okay. So this footer, it will contain elements. So generally a footer of any website of a proper company or a proper person will contain a few links and then a copyright claim and so on. Okay, so here we can see that there are three main parts. The first one is right here, and then the second one is here, and this is the last part, and it contains some okay. So we can say that there are three different divisions of this content. So we will create three divs. All right. And inside this div, first we have this image. So it's the same image we have used here in the navigation bar. So let's just go and copy it. Okay. And then we have the name of the person. Let's say it's H3. So I'm giving it H3 because I think this should be H2 because it has, a higher significance. And I'm saying that because the viewer, his or her attention should go to, ideally, it should go to a particular uh, section of this footer. So when you look at it, the first thing you'll see is let's talk. So that's why let's talk will be H2 and the Sam Peel here should be H3. Okay. So in our case, it's Bert Simpson and it's followed by product designer. Okay. And we have another paragraph, let's say paragraph text as it looks like the product designer text right there. Email. Okay. So um, let me just show it to you. Okay. So let's say Bert Simpson at Sims. Okay. Show it to you. Just a second. So, okay. So we have the link right here, but it's not taking you anywhere right now. So to, if you want for the person to directly open the email client on their device, so what you can do is you can put something like this, mail to, and it should be followed by a colon, and it will be followed by the email ID. Okay, so that's Bert Simpson at thesimpsons.com. Simpsons. All right. So what this will do is it will show the email ID, but it will also open the mail client directly. So that's more convenient. Like the user will just directly click and it will open up the email client for them, and then they can send you an email. So that's how you can use this mail to href. Okay, so that's the first part of this footer. Now in the second part we have an h2 element as we talked earlier. Let's and we have a paragraph text. Just gonna put lorem here, maybe a short uh, okay, and then we again have this list of external links. Okay, one more thing. See, let's just click this link right here. It's an external link. So if I click instagram.com, what will happen is it will open Instagram on this page itself. So let's go back. So if we want the user, to have this page on another tab, so what we will do is we will put another attribute called target. So this is mainly for the anchor tags, and inside of there we'll have a value of blank. So what the target attribute specifies is where the uh, link should open. So you guys might have seen about something like this. Whenever a link opens in a new tab, you must have seen something like this. So this is what is causing it to happen. Okay, so let's make these external links open on a separate tab. Okay, and let me just copy this for the footer itself. Right here. let's reload the page and try it out. Okay, so let's open Twitter. So now you can see that it's opening on a completely new tab. So that's how it happens using a target of underscore blank. And yes, it is underscore blank. It's not just blank. All right, so let's get to the last div. So here we have the links that we saw earlier in the navigation bar, and then we have a copyright text. Okay, so let's go to the nav bar and let's just copy these links. And it has to be followed by a tag. Okay, so this is the paragraph tag. The content here. So you can see we have this copyright symbol. So how we can put the copyright symbol is, so first type an ampersand and it will be followed by copy. And that has to be followed by a semicolon. So this is what you can call an HTML entity. So if you want to know more about HTML entities, you can just visit. All right. Okay, so this will render this copyright symbol. Let's say, right, 2021, Bert Simpson, all rights reserved. All right. Okay. Let's see if we have the footer ready. Okay, so yes, we have the avatar followed by the name and who you are, email, the stock section, followed by all these links and the copyright. Okay, so you might be able to see that there is a very thin border separating these two elements. This element. So for now, what we can use here is another tag called HR that stands for horizontal rule, and it's used so that you can have lines like this, and what it represents is a break in the flow of content. All right, so that's the landing page and it's complete. Pat yourself on the back. That's it. So that's the HTML part. So questions? Come on, there must be questions. 40% of you guys are beginners. No questions.
I had one question.
Sure.
So it's not really technical, but
Go ahead.
say whenever you design a website.
Yeah.
So like, do you always follow a reference like this, or do we just pick up whatever is in our mind?
What do you mean a reference like this?
For example, here we had the Bert Simpson, the reference portfolio, right? So we were following all the way from the nav bar to the footer. We kind of followed the same layout and design that he has. So say you're making a website of your own. You always won't have a reference. So what's your process? Like, how would you do it?
Well, okay, I get what you're trying to ask. So it depends. Let's say you are working at a company and then maybe you have a designer that designs the website, and then you're the developer that needs to create the website. So you will use the design that the designer will create and then make the website accordingly. So let's say you're not very good at design, but want your portfolio to look good. So what you can do is go to this website, dribble.com. I use it, whenever I need design inspiration. So dribble.com, and here you can find literally anything you want. So let's say you want logos, you want typography, you want web design, you'll find everything right here. It's the place where all the designers, they post their work to, for the world to see. Okay, so we've got this travel landing page. So if you're making a website for a travel agency, maybe you can use this design as inspiration. So yeah, so you can use a website like this. There are other websites that you can use for design inspiration, but this is the one I would suggest. But another one is Behance. Okay. So that this Behance, it belongs to Adobe. Even here you can find really good design inspiration. I'm going to share this in the message box too. Okay. Okay. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, very clearly.
All right. One more thing you can do is you can design the website yourself. So right now, even I'm creating my own portfolio and blog and a personal website. So I did the whole design by myself, but I did take inspiration from this. So I took inspiration from Canva. I took inspiration from Dribble. So, that's how design work is usually done. Okay. So that was it for the HTML part of this landing page. Okay. Let's see. We have 5-10 minutes left. Okay, so let's look at the contact me page. I think we should finish the contact me page right now, and we will, get to CSS in the next session itself, because it needs more time. Like 5-10 minutes aren't enough to introduce you with CSS. Okay. So open the contact.html page. I promise this is the last HTML page that we are going to create. I mean, I can see how long this was. It went on for more than 200 lines. So that's what happens when you have a lot of content in a website. And what we are creating is not a lot of content, it's standard. So yeah, your HTML pages are going to be around at least 250 pages long. If you look at any website from a reputable company, it might be 1,000 lines long. So that's just how it is. Okay, so trick here you can use is just type in an exclamation mark and then press tab. It will create the boilerplate document for you. So just give the appropriate title you want. Let's say contact and Bert Simpson. Okay. So we have the navigation bar here. So we are not going to create it again. We also have, it's just the part of it we can see here. So what I'm going to do, and what you should do too, is just create this whole navigation element. I mean copy, I'm sorry. Okay. But if you want to, do it on your own, I suggest you do it on your own so that, you understand what process we went through to create all of this. And you can use this as a reference. I'm just going to copy it for now to save time. Okay, so the main part of this website sorry, this web page is well, right here. So let's create a main tag, and then it's pretty much obvious that we are going to use an h1 tag here. Okay. So waiting for you here is again a shade of purple. So I hope you remember that we can achieve this by using a span. With a style attribute with a property color as Rebecca purple. So it's just the shade of purple I like on the web. Okay, so that's Rebecca purple. And to view this contact.html page, just click the contact link and it will open it up. All right. So you can see the title of this page is Contact Bert Simpson, and the rest of it just it's just copy pasted. So this is the navigation bar, and this is the footer. So you can see that the links to the containing the icons are not visible, and I hope you know or you understand why that is happening. It's because we haven't copied this part. So let's copy it and paste it at the end of our body. Okay, let's see again if it works. It won't. Yeah, it isn't. Now this is happening because we haven't put the link to the library in our header. So let's go up and yep, let's copy this link. So you can see feather icons here and just paste it here. All right. Okay, so that's the contact me page. So now the icons must be visible. All right. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's get back to the main part. So yeah, this waiting for you is purple now. We have a p tag, fill in the form, or so here, this part of the paragraph text is bold as well as underlined. So for bold text, there is this tag strong. So send us an email. We use this. Okay. Get on another line just for visibility. Okay. Okay. Um, let's have a look. Okay. So yeah, it is bold. Now, so here we have some information. So for this, we will use a div tag, and then it will be followed by 3 divs. The first one is okay. So here again, we are going to use the external icons. Is I, and the attribute we use here is, if you remember it, data feather. So the first one is smartphone. I'm not sure if it's the correct name, but it's just a hunch. Okay, and it's followed by some text. Okay, plus 1 4 5 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So it's a US phone number. Okay, so like this, we have 3 divs. And this one will contain a mail icon followed by the email ID of Bert Simpson that we have right here. Let's copy it and paste it here. This one will be if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Okay. Pin code. Okay. Okay. This is a USF phone number, so I'm just going to put I don't know. SF. Yeah, I remember he's from SF. We put it on the landing page. Okay. this is a better option. Okay, so that is it for this part. And now, okay, so it's 2031 right now. Okay, so do you guys want me to go over this form here? It will take around 5 minutes if that's okay. I mean, we started at 7:35, so okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the form part. So for forms on a web page, we have another tag. Yep, yet another tag. So the form tag, and let's just ignore this attribute for now. We will come back to it later when we are on the JavaScript part. Okay, so we have three inputs here, and then we have a text area. So for inputs, we have an input element, and the input element will have certain attributes related to it. So first, each input tag will have its type. So here it's just a simple text input. And then we have some placeholder text here. So for that, we specify another attribute called placeholder, the name, and it is followed by another input, and the type of it is email. So we'll put email, and then we have placeholder email. Okay. And then we have yet another tag. Okay, so it's a subject. So it's normal text subject. So the input will be, sorry, the type will be text, and the placeholder will be subject. So let's open the page and have a look. Okay, so, oh yeah, so we got all of them right. That's a good thing. We have the name input here, we have the email input and the subject input. So that's that. Let's get going. So here we have a text area. So normally you might have seen inputs like this. They're long elongated box, and then you can resize them. There is some resize option on the bottom right corner. So that's a text area. Let's ignore these attributes. And so columns and rows, it's just text that you put in. So if we have 30 columns, then it means the text area will be 30 characters wide, and rows means it will be 10 characters high. Okay, so that's the text area. All right, let's have a look. Text area. Okay, so it's right here. So you can resize it, but we can put on how this box will resize, but it's not necessary right now. So we'll get back to it later. And at the end, we have something known as a button. So here we'll use a button because we want the user to press it, and in turn, it will, do something behind the curtains and send this message to a server where where Bert Simpson can see it. Okay, so we have send message here. But for this button to work, we have to specify an attribute known as on click. So on click, it's exactly what it says it is. So we specify the code that should be run when this button is clicked. So it's not important right now because we need to understand JavaScript for this. So we'll come back to it later. So this button. Okay. Yep, we have the send message button, and that's okay. Okay, we missed this one. How did we miss it? Okay, my bad. Send us a message. And we have a background for this. So we will get to the background in the next session. Okay, so here you have the contact page and the so there is no way to go from the contact page to the home page. So what you can do is you can wrap this avatar image inside a link, and the link will be to the home page. Okay, so it should work just fine. We'll just have additional functionality of the link, replacing it in both the pages. Okay, let's reload it and see if it works. Um, yeah, it will work, of course. Just taking a while to load. Okay, so that's helpful. Let's try and go to contact page. Yep, it works. And about works and services works. Okay, one more thing. So about here in the contact page, we don't have an about section, right? So this about link won't work on the contact page, right? Okay. Uh, See, it's not working. Like it actually should take the person to the landing page. That is the home page. So what we will do is we will put instead of just this, we will put the root. Uh, so that will take the person to the root page, and inside of there to the about section. And similarly for the services, we'll put these followed by hashtag services. Okay. So you can see in this right here, I hope it's visible. I'm not sure how to make it bigger. Okay. Yeah, so this is the URL, and then it's followed by this hashtag sign, and it ends with services. So instead of this, if we let's say we remove this, so it will take us to the home page, and then inside of there, the services section. Okay, so we are on the contact. Yep. Okay, so let's click about here. So it will go to the home page and then scroll down there. So we got the about section. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the web page part that we have to cover. Okay. So yeah, that's it. If you want the link to this file, share it in the Teams message box. All right, that will be it for today from my side. If you guys have any questions, shoot. And if you
Yes.
are,
Hello.
yeah.
I had a doubt. So,
Hmm.
will we be going through, any responsive concepts like making this responsive? Just a doubt.
Okay, so I don't think that we will be able to. Okay, so it depends on the time we have left.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next workshop, we are going to mainly cover the CSS part, but there's a lot of stuff you need to know about CSS before we get to the responsive part. So for now, I'm going to say that we are not going to cover the responsive part, but maybe at the end, if we have some time, I'll just introduce. Okay, so for the people who don't know what responsive, thing we are talking about is, let me just show you. Okay, so let's say we have a screen with this size. So this is how the content looks here. But let's say we have a screen with smaller size, maybe, this size. So this is how it will look here. So just, for example, a website may look different on your desktop, very different on your mobile, and that's what we call responsive design. So we need the web page to respond to varying sizes of the screen. Okay, so that's what responsive means. Okay. where did I'm just going to put it here. Okay, any other questions?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Is it possible for you to compile all the codes that we learned after every lesson?
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
No, like all the tags that we've learned along with its definition. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is possible. I'd be happy to do it.
Okay.
Okay, so
I know the
I'll
recordings
send a
there
link.
and the W3W, but yeah, just
Yeah, I know. I understand. Like it is difficult to go through an hour of recording just so you can see what tags we went through. Yeah, I'll just create a reference. I think I have shared link to a repository that I created for reference links, but I'll make sure to put all the tags that we went through and their reference links, and
okay, sure. And
then I'll
how?
link on the group when it's done. Okay.
Yep, sure. And how many such sessions will we be having?
So we have a total of 5 sessions. One was on Wednesday. Another one, the second one is today, and now we'll have the third one on Monday, and then on Wednesday and Friday the next week. That's it. We only have 5 sessions.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, so I can see that there's a question. Okay, so it's from Ashwin himself. Could you go through importing the icons again?
Oh no, I got that. Yeah, you showed it.
All right, okay. Okay, so Mahatab asked, could you add these sample website screenshots to GitHub too? So the repository I created, it has a folder. Let me just show it to you. Wrong repository. It has a folder called images and okay, Turbo Octo, right? And in there we have all the images. So the hero image right here. So if you want to look at these images and try this out on your own, go ahead. You have these images right here. So I'll update this repository with the links for the tags that we went through today. Okay, anything else? Meg, I think you should stop the recording. Meg. Right, if that's it,